Okay. Okay, everyone. I'm back. I'm back, everyone. Let me just set up the Instagram live. Let me just check first. Everything should be okay. Okay. Let me just do a little bit adjustment. Okay. Instagram should be live now. Streaming should be in. Yep. And let's make sure, yes, sound is in. And we're live now. Okay, that's great. And then let me just put calling to everyone. Everyone. Okay, let me just call everyone. Okay, English session live now. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back with me again, the Entrepreneur's Roadmap. So this is the Instagram live and streaming also live to YouTube. So you guys can actually check the YouTube channel, and yeah, hopefully you guys can actually check it also. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. And yep, and also for those who haven't heard or haven't, follow me in Instagram, please follow me also. So anyway, the recording will be in YouTube automatically. And yeah, that's how I'm doing this now. So it's Instagram live and replay will be in YouTube. So Instagram and YouTube live, replay only in YouTube. Okay, so my name is Christopher E. So Chris E, or people call me Chris E or Chris. I'm a sales master from Atomy, or Sydney, Australia. Okay, so today I have a very good topics relating to my passions. The passion that the vision that I have back when I was 18 years old. So this is the vision and passion that I have at that time. Let me just, tell the background story of which that my vision at that time, I see myself that I'm actually leading a very large number of people. I saw myself, I can see myself, standing in at on the stage, and where I talk to more than 100,000 people. Now, I don't know at that time exactly what or what kind of, you know message or vision sort of, I have to do, but that's just my journey to find my purpose. And along the way, I've been involved in many different, network marketing industry, and then a lot of different position in, helping my family business, things like that. But I always fell into numbers. So I become an accountant. Although I like gadget, I like technologies. Originally, I thought that I'm going to be a IT specialist or things like that. But then apparently no, I become an accountant, and then I become a tax agent. I moved to Australia, and then now I work in a accounting accounting industry, and then I become a tax agent. So that's my journey to know more about business, and then to deal and to understand the concept. And because I dealt with a lot of different clients, and and my curiosity about business, about entrepreneurs, makes me want to actually do more research and then learn how can we build a better business, how can we be successful, because it's easy to say than done, basically. Although a lot of how should I say this, a lot of uh, the guru out there simplified things in that sense. It's never been that easy from my experience. So I found out that for me, it's not necessarily just opening a business. Long story short, after 9 years dwelling into the accounting practice and doing all the work, um, contracting for a firm, I set out myself to actually on my own. Although I'm always a contractor, so it means I'm always on my own. But in a technical term, yeah, I work as sort of like almost like an employee. But I'm building the knowledge, so I'm learning the knowledge. I'm learning the idea on how to actually become a good accountant, a good technician in that sense. And then after 9 years, I decided enough is enough. There is no. I think I need. I want to actually create my own destiny. So I set up myself. Okay, to be my own tax agent. I pursue that career. I pursue that challenge, and because I found that becoming an accountant, doing the numbers alone is no longer sexy anymore. As an accountant, it's no longer sexy. But understanding what the number means and how we can then basically plan and then look where we are, it's fascinating. And then I got the revelation that all in all of our lives is actually numbers. We can convert our lives into numbers. And that's why I always teach this to many people, my friends, my clients. Hey, we need to know our life's numbers. Do you know what your number is? And this is where it becomes a very integral point of me, that I love to teach this, and this becomes my message, for people. And long story short, at some point, sometime in maybe in 2010 or 10 or 11 or 12, I started to actually, jot down all the things that I've learned, what I've seen from many different successful businesses, what they gone through, and what do they have, what is the similarities of those businesses. And I jot down eight things that makes a business sustainable, profitable, and healthy. And and these eight things, I without me realizing it, at that time, when I wrote them down, I didn't realize it. And then until when I finish, and then I look back, because honestly, at that time, there is a trigger. Basically, what actually triggers me to actually write down those eight things, uh, which I call the milestone, is a course that I did, the seminar that I did, and of which it asked me to actually write down, you know seven, create a topics, or seven steps or eight steps, blah blah blah. So I just write down eight things in business, um, and I found that when I review it again, after I write down all those, I look at that and I just, I remember I was so amazed, with the eight milestone, the eight things that I've written down. The eight things that I've written down is basically just common sense, but they are so important, and I can see that these eight things everywhere, in every lives, and in every businesses, whether we like it or not, whether we realize it or not, they are there. It's just that most of the time many of us ignore this. So yeah, without further ado, I just wanted to actually share this with you guys, and maybe focus on the milestone number one on this session. So yeah, so let me just put it this way. I'm just gonna, most of the time, I'm just going to read the overview ebooks that I created, also based, for this. And yeah, so yeah, basically this information session is really about a business, about entrepreneurs, a roadmap. So that's how I actually put it. So, and over the past 15 years or more, I have studied lots of successful business owners. And and in that sense that I've reviewed also lots of different resources, because I don't when my journey is not like I have money already, or I have a very good networks that I can find, and then suddenly I have a very good business, or a very successful business straight away. I'm not saying that I'm already successful in that sense. I'm still pursuing to my dreams, guys. So this is basically a journey of my own, sort of a story that I'm telling everyone right now. But the one thing that makes me realize, after studying a lot of the businesses that I've dealt with, and then resources that I can get my hands to, I realized that one thing that most of businesses are missing is the right guidance. They don't have guidance, the right guidance for, that hold their hands going through, especially for those who actually just starting a business. And the only way for a startup company or people who just starting businesses to get advice is basically just attending free seminars, or looking at YouTube or things like that, or you know reading books. As if you don't have it, then you probably just look for information at Google right now. There, it's so easy, although it's easier now for access for information and knowledge, because there are YouTube now, like for example, my this gonna be a YouTube content that for everyone to actually access and learn about this framework. So it's not that hard in the past, but it is still hard for a lot of small businesses to medium businesses, when they, you know especially those starting over, especially those who actually not starting over, but just starting, and they don't have any idea how to actually run a business. And basically they are trying to figure things out themselves, because that happens to me also, unfortunately most of these resources never really tell me the details of what I need to have or do in a holistic view, in the sense of, it's only focusing on a certain area of doing business, but not necessarily the whole thing. I get the idea, for example, I get the idea of doing business plan, but there's never really a good way, a good, you know, guidance for us to understand creating a business plan. Why? Why do we have to create a business plan? Everyone understand that we need to create a business plan, but honestly, how many people create that? As simple as that. That's just one example. Even if they have found the books, is it really a practical guidance on how to actually do it? It's a uh hands on, guidance in that sense. And that's what I found really lacking right now. That I found that I have trouble in finding those. Yes, I am a good accountant. Yes, I'm good with numbers. But building an accounting practice or an accounting business is a completely different thing. I've struggled with many different factors. There are a saying in the accounting industry that accountant is actually, accountancy practice or accounting industry is the most under marketed industry in the world. Now, you can research that, that yourself, whether it's true or not. But I heard that many times, and I saw this with my own eyes, that really, yeah, accountant never really market themselves. Only one or two that have a niche or way to actually sell themselves, to actually market themselves differently. But most of them is a really passive industry. Accountancy is a passive industry. A lot of accountant is actually passive, and I found myself struggling to actually build up my business. I got an advice previously, when I want to actually start it and giving the idea of coaching client, education to client, and I got the feedback. Nobody wants coaching from accountant. Nobody wants you to coach and things like that. I just don't believe it. From my point of view, why? Why? As an accountant, I can see the numbers. I can see what the client actually gone through. Whether, it's a perfect, it's a 100% reflection of what their business is. I, but I they are like an open book to me. My client is like an open book to me. They are like, I used to joke with them all the time. You guys are naked with me. You guys should understand that you guys should be, that, because I see all the numbers, right? And I know how things are going. And but yet a lot of businesses don't have the guidance from their accountant. And this is where I found it really, really, in the sense of really hurtful for me also, because I found that hurtful also because I'm building my own business and I don't have anyone to actually guide me. I know the numbers, I know the idea, I know, how to actually do a good, how to actually be a good accountant. But to be a good business owner, an entrepreneur, is a completely different thing. But nobody actually guide me hands on. And this is why I find a passion, it's actually a passion of mine to actually look and learn, keep learning and growing myself. So I want to change this by educating entrepreneurs, basically, whether they are just starting or already established, of the right frameworks or milestone to have in building their business. And I think no one's ever done this before as the so-called mentor or things like that, or guru, or partners. They basically only focus on certain topics. I'm not saying that topics is not important. No, I'm not. But what I found is these topics only part of the frameworks. So why do I do this? It's because I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. I know the struggles of many entrepreneurs have go through, and sometimes we can feel like there is no light at the end of the tunnel just because of one main issue. For example, cash flow. This is fueled by my personal vision to create a world's to create world's prosperity through entrepreneurs education. So in a way, I created my organization, which is my firm name, my accounting firm name, Cashflow Networks. But I also created an organization right now is called Network 12. The vision, the mission of the organization, which is Network 12, is is to help, is to be recognized as the number one entrepreneur support and education, with a current mission to create 100,000 successful entrepreneurs through loyalty, humbleness, consistency, excellence, and teamwork. And basically, that's my vision right now. I'm still building up, finding those people who wants to actually understand and grow and be the best version of themselves. Because every one of us has a purpose in life. And I think that's my purpose. And this is why I'm passionate in sharing this. And this is why I have to share this message. So, with this in mind, I hope you enjoy this session. So, what is the entrepreneur's roadmap? The entrepreneur's roadmap is created on the basis of many successful businesses that I have read or spectate, or reviews, how they do things, what components is there in their business. And from my from dealing with clients, whether it's from when I was working as a contractor, from different clients that are actually successful in this sense, also subjective to my view. Maybe according to you, that's not successful business, it's different, right? But according to me, right, so I have to say it's a subjective to my knowledge and framework and beliefs and boundaries. Now, but they all have gone through the process. Now note when I say process. So term, or the entrepreneur's roadmap, is actually a process. So with process, it's It's there for you to go through. You have to go through those. And the process consists of 8 things of what I call milestone or frameworks. So when I say the framework of the entrepreneur's roadmap, it's like a skeleton in our body. So this is like I've been saying this for the past few weeks, when I review lessons that I've learned from, videos or things like that. So the entrepreneur's roadmap is actually a framework that we need to do. And this 8 framework, hey Binfang, how are you? Thanks man for joining. Binfang is a good friend of mine, everyone, and a very dear client of mine, of VIP clients. Thanks man for joining. Really appreciate it. Hope you like it. And the entrepreneur's roadmap is actually talking about the 8 milestone. So the 8 frameworks. So the 8 frameworks is number 1 is fundamentals. Number 2 is the strategy. Number 3 is team. Number 4 is system. Number 5 is implementation. Number 6, measuring and monitoring. Number 7, review. Number 8 is mastermind. So now let's, without further ado, because we only have a limited time right now. Number 1, the fundamentals. So this is what it's all about. For me, when you have a business, the idea that you need to have is creating your fundamentals first. Now, I'm not saying that this framework you have to go through in sequence, not necessarily. If you're already established, then you may be looking at these different frameworks or different milestone of which where you think that we need to actually review it and then go and make it better or improve it to become the best version of that, right, to improve our business. But if you're just starting, then you might want to actually go through in sequence. So the fundamentals is actually from my point of view, is the ideal, the the basis, the foundation of your buildings, of your businesses. So if you don't have the right foundation, if you don't build the right fundamentals, the business might not survive for a very long time. So there is an old saying, we are who we think we are. And I always educate people that whether we believe it or not, our lives are just a mere reflection of what we believe in. Now, our thinking develop and shape through many factors, and our environments play an important role in shaping it. So we need to first be aware of these thoughts, as it will shape our way of life. Our thoughts and what we're focusing on will shape our core belief system. As there are also saying, that what we think will become our words. What we say, which is our words, will become our action. And our action will become our habits. And our habits will become our characters. And our characters will become our destinies. So thus, if you want to have a destiny, a good destiny that you really wanted to have in your life, it started from your mindset. It started from your thoughts. How are we thinking? How do we think about life? How do we think about success? How do we think about money? How do we see and view and feel and believe about those stuffs? Because whether we believe it or not, we as humans operate based on our core belief systems. We will not do anything that is not aligned with those. For example, you will not buy fashion products based on animals if your value is to protect animals' rights. It is the same with your business, with our business. As we are the main, when you start first starting, you are the main driver for the business. Your values will drive your business. And if your business has grown, then the collaboration of each individual member's values define the company's values. Thus, it is important to understand and be aware of this in your early stage in business. It is the fundamentals for the business to propel to a new level and right direction, as it takes a different mindset to go through the path of entrepreneurship. So we need to understand about this, that without mindset, the right mindset, most of the time when things go rough, if we don't have the right mindset in business or in life, we'll quit at some point, we'll break at some point. And that's the same thing in business. Because your business reflects your values, and your values reflected of your mindset. So if you don't if you don't aware, if you're not aware of this, then we need to be mindful of what we need to actually have. So this is the the first ingredient of the business fundamentals, if I can say. So in business fundamentals, it's not only mindset, there are more things. And the first one is the mindset. What do you see your life? How do you see your business? How do you see 10 years from now? What do you really see? Can you see and can you accept, can you believe that you are a good leader? Can you see yourself as a good business owner, as a successful person, as someone who has a business, whatever it is the level that you're thinking of? Because if we don't believe that, then your business will not achieve that. So that's the number one, the mindset. The second one is vision statement. So vision outlines what you want to be or how you want the world in which you live in to be. So this is an idealized view of your world. And this is adapted from Wikipedia. I take this, from Wikipedia. So your vision statement should only be a 30 seconds long if you read it. So for me, your vision should not be, I'm not saying, okay, many people confuse between vision and goals. They call it dreams, but then you forgot the real idea of, the real idea of vision itself. So technically, a lot of people, as I said, then confuse, right? For me, your vision should be the idea of how you want people to see you in maybe 10 years time, 20 years, 30 years. And first, before you have a vision for your business, you need to have a vision for yourself first. What kind of purpose, what kind of aspiration that you have in in your life? Oh, hello, Bumelia. Sorry, this is the English version, English session, yeah? I know that you're learning English, so welcome, welcome, welcome. You're always welcome to learn. Always welcome also to answer me in English and ask me question in English. Melia, you're always welcome. Okay, let's continue. So, yes. So first, you need to understand that you need to create vision for yourself first. Find the vision, for yourself. What is your vision? What is your aspiration in life? And a lot of people have found, including myself, I am guilty also for many, many times. I have to be reminded over and over again. Like this passion of mine, world's prosperity through entrepreneurs education, it's just recently been ignited again. But I never lost it. I come from not a poor family. I don't say that I came from a poor family, an okay family, but a very, I have to say, there are some dysfunctional in the family. And that led me to believe that money is so hard to come by. And that led me to believe that luck is a way of things. Led me to believe that there is something wrong in my family and why blessings cannot come. Why can't we be like other family? And one day, when I was 18, as I told you guys, the vision of being a leader of 100,000 successful entrepreneurs ignites my spirit. I'm not being spiritual here, but I am spiritual. I really believe that God put that fire in me. And that passion brings me to my mission. I want to help 100,000 people to grow together, to be the best version of ourselves, to achieve what seems to be impossible, to know that God loves them, that God has prepared abundance in their lives, that God doesn't want them just mediocre. I really believe that. I really believe that God wants us to be blessed. And this is why I have that vision of world's prosperity through entrepreneurs education, because I know I have to educate people. I have to educate entrepreneurs. So that's my vision. My vision is world's prosperity through entrepreneurs education. So that's the component, that's the second component of the fundamentals. Beside the mindset, you need to have your vision. Your vision is your aspiration in life. The true aspiration in life, that when you talk about it, you can cry, you can laugh about it, you can have joy. And it's not something about money. It's not something about just wealth in that sense, in the mere physical wealth thing or something like that. Do I want that? Yes, I do. But my vision is greater than that. Because I really believe, by having this passion, educating people, I really believe that everyone should have and should be the best of what they can be. Everyone deserves that, deserve to have that guidance. And finding this is one of the most important and greatest thing that you need to do. Find your purpose. That's your vision. And the third one is write your mission statement. So mission defines the fundamental purpose of an organization or an enterprise, describing why it exists and what it does to achieve its vision. So again, this should actually be more than 2 to 3 sentences. And thus, as I previously mentioned, my mission is to create 100,000 successful entrepreneurs. That's it. That's my current mission, my current organization mission. Hey Rina, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, this is English session. Sorry Arin. Bahasa Inggris. So that's my mission. And that's coming from my visions. So my mission is to create and assist 100,000 successful entrepreneurs. Now, why mission is not a dream or is not a goal also? It's not, but it can be, right? As I said, right? As I show you guys, like my mission is having, create or assist 100,000 successful entrepreneurs. But mission can be changed as what you guys will understand. The fundamentals is something that shouldn't be bend easily, shouldn't it shouldn't be changed often. And this is something that we need to understand. Vision should last very long. So in that sense, your vision should actually change that often. Can you change vision? Yes, you can. But should you change vision every year? No, you don't. You should know your vision for a long-term visions. Now, when we say, oh, it's a short-term vision, no, it's not. It's a short-term goals. Vision should be a very long-term, because that what will be the basis of what you're doing. If not, then you'll be going everywhere. Oh, this year we're just going to be this, and then next year we're going to be that. You can't. That's not sustainable for business. People will go crazy. Your customer will go crazy. What are you going are you trying to do? Your family will go crazy. Oh, this year we're going to live in Australia. Next year we're going to live in India. Next year we're going to live in. You can't. So this is something that we need to understand. So fundamentals is actually a set of factors that are not pliable and do not readily change to forces to external forces or other non disruptive forces. In a business world, fundamentals means the set of business factors that are not pliable and do not readily change to market forces or other non-disruptive forces. So pliable means, easily bend, flexible, easily influenced. So you shouldn't be easily influenced. So your vision shouldn't be easily influenced by many different factors. And your mission should be long term also. But you should be able to see how to achieve that, because that's the current mission, and the mission can grow and change later on. For example, if I have already achieved 100,000, helping assisting 100,000, then the mission will be then, for me, I know, then to be maybe 1 million. So then this is what the mission is. The next one, the fourth fundamentals factor that you need to have in your foundation for your life, for your business, whatever you do, you need to have this. The number four is written culture or value statement. As I said previously, right? We as humans will not operate outside our core values. Values are beliefs that are shared among the stakeholders. In this case, among ourselves, in ourselves, right? So that's the belief that we have. What are those values that you hold dear in your life? Everyone have a different values, priorities, different values with, a different ratings, different ranking in their lives. Some people have loyalty at the first, number one, but some other people have integrity in one. You need to know and write this down. What are your values? Now you need to write down maybe 4 or 5 values, nothing more, nothing less. Although you might have more than 5, maybe 10, you should write down as many as you can, right? The one that values that in your life that you really believe in. Maybe 10, 15, 20, 30. But out of those 30, choose 5. Choose 5 that you feel that that's you. If that's still too much, choose 3. Between 3 to 5 is okay. From my point of view, that's your main values. That's your really core values. So think about it. As I said, as I give the example before, right? For example, previous example, you won't go and eat certain foods because you have a belief of that certain foods. So you will not do that. Whether you realize it or not, we never work outside our belief system. So by writing down these beliefs, these values, we set ourselves up for accountability of that values. Because if in a certain condition that will contradicts the values, if that's really your values, then we will excel. We will not deter. It will not deter ourselves in those. So that's why this is important. And the last one in the fundamentals is written goal statements. So goal statement, as you said, as you can see here, right? I've mentioned it the last. Why? Because goals should come after all this, because goal is just a mere reflection of what we can achieve or what we will achieve. And goals should be measurable. So that's why, there are teaching that you probably know already, that we need to have a smart goals, right? I will not talk about this, the abbreviation of that smart. What is that? You can do a research on your own on that one. But there are many ways for you to create a goal statement. But your goal statements should be defined firstly based on categories and then periods. You need to have this. There are four elements in life, and these elements are flesh, to live well; spirit, to love; soul, to learn; and environment, to contribute. And out of these four main categories in life, you can then subcategorizing it in many different factors, in many different subcategories that you can put in. And only when we live a life with all four elements well harmonized will we be able to exercise our passions. Thus, when creating goals, we need to include goals that are from all elements. These are called the wheel of life. Now, if you want, you can create at least two categories from each element of life and be as detailed as possible as follows, but not limiting to all this that I'm going to say to you. Business, which is flash, right? It's part of flash to live well. So how many business how many, let's say if you're having a business, or in the scenario of have starting a business, how many office do you want to have, for example? Or what is your turnover, the gross turnover that you want to achieve, and how many country of operation? And then family, spirit, when to get married, how many children, how much do you contribute back to your parents? Personal and professional development, this is soul. What course do you want to take and complete? What skills do you want to actually develop? What degree that you want to actually achieve? Charity, which is environment. What is monthly donation to your not-for-profit institutions? How many children do you want to adopt? So these are just an example. It's not limiting to all this. So think about it. Really think hard about this. And all these goals should actually align back to where? Back to your visions. Because if these goals do not, align to your visions, then it will not be a priority in you, with you. Think about the goals. Think about your missions. From your mission, what is then the goals that you need to have? So after creating your goals categories, you should start creating the goals time period. We recommend you created goals for the following period. So start from, if you want, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, or 30 days. Up to you. Maybe you're saying, oh, Chris, 10 years is too long. Some people created 20 years or 30 years or 50 years or even 100 years. Maybe that's too much for us. I don't, me myself, I can't see myself creating a vision more than 10 years or 20 years. Even, I can't, I can't see 100 years vision, but some people can. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that I'm bad. No, it's just that take it as is. Take your step, whichever period that you can believe, do that. If it's 1 year, 1 year, 3 years, 3 years, 5 years, then fine. But start from the longest period that you can believe in, and then work towards the shorter period. So we suggest, so I suggest, basically for you to start with the end in mind. So that's why I said, from the longest period. So that's the foundation. And I believe this is why so many businesses and so many people fail in the first 5 years. This is why the statistic shows us that 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. And sadly, 80% of those 20% that survive the first 5 years fail in the next 5 years, in the second 5 years. I'm not trying to actually scare you off, but I think and I really believe, because of the fundamentals being ignored. I took myself as an example. Being an accountant doesn't mean that I will be, being a good accountant, doing the numbers, know what to do, will not make me a good business owner. It's not a guarantee that I will have a successful accounting firm. Because building a successful accounting firm or building a successful business is a completely different ball game. It's a completely different beast. I really believe that everyone is an entrepreneur. Find your level, but start with your fundamentals. Because without this, we know, if we can understand the idea of building a tall skyscraper building requires a very deep, very, very deep foundation. Requires time and period to actually dig so deep to build a strong foundation with the right structure, with the right technology and things like that, to be put in place at that very deep level, so that it can sustain the tall building from many different, environment, situation. If we can understand that, but why, when it comes to business, we jump, we swim straight away? I'm not saying that you shouldn't start business straight away. I'm not saying that. But you should prepare yourself. You should take time to prepare the fundamentals, to build the fundamentals properly. Because without this, you will not survive. Without this, your business cannot sustain itself. So there you go, Fox. There you go, guys. Hope you learn something. Hope you get the idea and hope you can get the value that I try to actually convey from my message. I love the message of mindset, fundamentals of business. So, yeah, that's that's it. So, if you have any question, just DM me or you can ask or you can just put a comment in the replay later on. I'll be I'll be watching and I'll be reading it and then, we'll be commenting, we'll be replying. So thank you so much everyone who have come and listened. Appreciate it and hope that I have add value to you. So my motto in life, live life to the fullest and expect success and God's favor all the time. Thank you. So this is Chris E, Sales Master from Atomy, Australia, signing off. See you next time. Bye.